Shergar in the lead and clear. Next to cruising home on the orange big derby. Coming up to the line, Shergar's going to win it. Coming up to the line, Shergar is the winner.
Up the line, Shergar wins it. It's Shergar being pressed now by New Continent as they race into the closing stages. Shergar from New Continent and Chief Speaker. Chief Speaker putting in a great run over on the far side, but Shergar has this well sewn up. This is one for Leicester. At the line, Shergar's the winner.
We knew he was a good class colt then. He was always going to stay well. I'm not saying we thought then he would definitely win a derby, but we felt we had a horse with derby potential.
In the lead, Shergar, not American bred. In fact, 4 of these colts are, and including the big 2 Recitation and Robolino, and in fact 7 of the last 8 winners of this well-established race were American bred. But it's Shergar representing the home side in the lead, followed by Belldale Flutter in second. Leicester has Shergar settling down in third, followed by Recitation 4. John Matthias has the favourite Robolino up on the outside, 5. And then comes Norman Style, and finally the 50-to-1 outsider, Admiral's Heir. They've come just about 3 furlongs now, and it's still Ernie Johnson on Shergar in the lead from Pat Edry with Belldale Flutter 2. Right on the rail, spot the white blaze on the face of Shergar. Then Robolino with the noseband being pushed a little wide there, I thought, by Recitation. Then comes Admiral's Heir, and just last is Norman Style. They're into the final straight and approaching the 4-furlong pole, which is the halfway point of this William Hill Futurity. There it is, and it's still Shergar 1, Belldale Flutter 2. Shergar being switched towards the outside for a run in third. Then comes 4 Recitation, really bowling along well now. Robolino at the back and struggling a bit with John Matthias. Inside the final 3 furlongs, it's still Shergar from Belldale Flutter looking real danger now too. Here comes Recitation and Shergar as they race towards the final 2 furlongs. And Belldale Flutter now on terms with Shergar, and Pat Edry has got a good run on him now, and it's Belldale Flutter in front, Shergar going well. Recitation struggling a bit on the near side. Robolino, the favourite, surely has got no chance unless he can sprout wings, and he can't inside the last furlong. And it's Belldale Flutter and Pat Edry clear now of Shergar. Leicester Pickett second, and it's between these 2 former champion jockeys. Pat Edry and Belldale Flutter going to get the upper hand. Are racing up towards the line. Belldale Flutter wins the Windworm Hill Futurity up the line. Belldale Flutter the winner, Shergar second, and Shergar third, Recitation fourth. 5 the outsider, Admiral's Heir, and 6 was Robolino. A very disappointing run by the 7-4 favourite. And 8th and last in the end was Norman Style, who loses his unbeaten record. So it's gone to
He just gets a little bit keen, but he's just getting wound up for the big day. He relaxes again after his big race, and he relaxes in his canters then. But when he's starting to put a bit of work into him before his big race, he just starts taking a bit of a grip.
How do you think he is now compared to before the derby?
Just as good, just the same. He hasn't changed.
Can you see any danger to him on Saturday?
No, none whatsoever. None at all. No. He'll win Saturday the same as he's been winning the other.
He's not a heavy horse. He weighs about 990 pounds, and he's an athlete. He's a very easy horse to do anything with. He's got a very good temperament, and he's got the necessary engine. He's got a great big barrel on him, which houses the big bellows that gives him the necessary air that produces the oxygen to make him go a bit faster than everybody else.
Is that the secret, his heart? Yeah.
Well, he's got to have a big heart, and he's got to have a big pair of lungs to go with it. And he's a very, very sound horse.
With sheer grit, the leader from Lombardy in second place. Shergar's in third place, Kirtling fourth, Capstan fifth, Krug in sixth, Welsh Reel seventh, and King's General in 8th place. And they're about 6.5 furlongs from home, getting towards the end of the far straight and going a pretty good gallop, with sheer grit continuing the lead from Lombardy and Shergar, and then Kirtling on the outside in 4th. On the inside of that is Capstan in 5th, followed by Krug, Welsh Reel, and King's General, who's just beginning to improve, having been last up to now. And as they run round towards the straight, they're good 4.5 furlongs from home. Sheer Grit continuing to lead only by 3/4 of a length from Lombardy, and then Shergar, Kirtling, then King's General, then comes Capstan, and the last two are Welsh Reel and Krug. As the leaders come, the field comes into the straight now. 3.5 furlongs from home. Sheer Grit over on the far rails. Shergar right up with it. That's the one with a very white face. Then comes Lombardy, then Kirtling a bit wider, then King's General wider still. 2.5 furlongs from home. It's Shergar now in the lead from Kirtling and King's General, and Sheer Grit on the rails. 2 furlongs from home now with Shergar the leader from Sheer Grit, and then comes Kirtling and then King's General, but it's Shergar who's opening up a gap of 4 lengths now as they come into the final furlong, and Shergar is going well clear and continuing to go away. He's going to win by a big margin. Shergar going a long way clear now. Race for second place between Kirtling and King's General, and then comes Sheer Grit.
This spring, as the season blossomed, that potential was soon confirmed. In March, Shergar, led here by Shahsavan with Centurious in tow, was bursting out of his skin. The bookie's offer of 33-1 for the Derby was soon snapped up. By the time he came to run in the Chester Vase, he was already Derby favourite.
Racing round the home turn, 2 furlongs to run, and Shergar is well clear from Sunley Bills, Jungle Jim, King's Glory and Belloc. Well into the straight, Shergar showing well clear of Sunley Bills and Jungle Jim. Got a furlong to run now, and Shergar striding away to win the bars very comfortably indeed from Sunley Bills, Jungle Jim. Belloc improving well as they race up towards the line. Shergar strides very well clear to win it very comfortably indeed.
Shergar very, very calm indeed. Shergar in his stall number 6. Lydian just going in now, being offered up. And we heard the score there, 1 to go, and it's Lydian. He is hanging out the back, and this is the one that's causing the problem down at the start. You saw that he had the blindfold on. That proved to be absolutely useless. You can see all the stall handlers trying to get him in, and he's not going in at all. Depends how much you heard him say. Take him away. Looks as if they're going to go without him. They're under orders and they're off. Lydian is a non-runner. Waverley Hall was slowly away, and on the inside it's Sunley Bills, and in fact it's Riveretto that goes on. Riveretto in the lead from Sunley Bills in second place, and just in behind these on the outside comes Silver Season. Then comes El Nas, and behind El Nas is Shergar racing prominently. The back marker is Waverley Hall. Robolino is also towards the rear. And as they settle down, running through the first 2 furlongs, it's Sunley Bills on the outside of Riveretto, then Shergar going well in the left of the picture. Then just in behind that one is Waverley Hall. That's the back marker. That's the one that's already making some way adrift. They continue their stiff uphill climb, and it's Riveretto in the lead from Silver Season in second. Then Sunday Bills is third, and Shergar is 4. Then Alnas is 5, and Church Parade 6, and Shotgun going sweetly in 7th place just in behind them. But it's Riveretto in the lead as they continue the make uphill climb. Riveretto the leader from Silver Season up on the outside. Shergar is third, then Sunday Bills is 4, Church Parade is 5, Grey Shotgun in 6th place, then behind Shotgun is Krug, and behind Krug comes Sheer Grit making up a bit of ground. El Nas up on the outside. These are tracked by Glint of Gold, and as they begin these descent at the top of the hill, coming down to the halfway stage, and it's Riveretto in the lead. Riveretto the leader from Silver Season in second. Shergar spot his white face there in third, the grey. Leicester Pickett going well in 4, then Church Parade 5, Scintillating Area 6, and Sheer Grit 7. Then comes King's General 8, Glint of Gold 9, and Sunday Bill 10. Then comes Al Nas with Robolino making up ground up on the outside, but it's still Riveretto that leads as they begin the descent to Tatton Corner. It's Riveretto in the lead from Sunday Bill. Shergar there on the left of the picture up on the outside, then Scintillating Air just in behind them, and behind Scintillating Air is Church Parade. Then comes Shotgun, then comes King's General in the field, well and truly strung out as they swing into the home straight and coming round Tatton Corner, and the white face of Shergar moves up to dispute the lead with Riveretto. Shergar, Riveretto from Silver Season and Scintillating Air. Then behind these comes Shotgun, and Wallace Swinburne is committed. He's going for home, and Shergar is going on and going clear. The odds-on favourite clear in the Derby with just over 2 furlongs left to go. It's Shergar in the lead and clear from Silver Season. Leicester Pickett coming very wide on Shotgun, but they've got 2 furlongs left to race, under 2 furlongs to go, and it's Shergar in the lead. Shergar from Scintillating Air in second place. Church Parade is is third, Shotgun fourth, then comes Glint of Gold, but Shergar is well clear with a furlong to go. Shergar a long way clear of his rivals. Shergar in the lead and clear. Wallace Swinburne riding him out, going for home ahead of Glint of Gold is second, Scintillating Air is third, Shotgun is fourth, but coming up to the line, Shergar is going to win it at the line. Shergar is the winner, very easy winner. Glint of Gold second, Scintillating Air third, Shotgun four, Church Parade five, then Shergrit six, and Scintillating, and then behind that one came Robolino, and the last horses include Golden Brigadier, Kind of Hush, El Nas, and the last horse to pass the post is in fact Waverley Hall. And so the outcome of this, the 202nd Derby, is a win for number 18 Shergar, owned by His Highness the Aga Khan, trained at Newmarket by Michael Stout, who's fourth runner in the race, ridden by Walter Swinburne, the 19-year-old jockey, and bred by the Aga Khan. Second was number 5, Glint of Gold, owned by Mr. Paul Menon, trained at Kingsclear by Ian Bowling and ridden by John Matthias and trained by Paul Menon. The third horse home, number 16, Scintillating Air, owned by Mr. K.C. Dodson, trained at Newmarket by Bruce Hobbs, ridden by Jeff Baxter and bred by the Perney House stud. And the fourth horse home, number 19, Shotgun, owned by Mr. Guy Reed, trained at Middleham by Chris Thornton and ridden by Lester Piggott. Lester Piggott finishes fourth, but there's our winner. There's Shergar, and a brilliant ride by young Walter Swinburne, the ice-cool rider of Shergar. Sir Ivor was the last odds-on favourite to win this race, and Sir Ivor won it in 1968 when ridden by Lester Piggott. But there you can see Shergar, the authority with which this horse won, and there Walter Swinburne being congratulated by the jockey on the third horse home, Scintillating Air. That's the third horse home, and the jockey Jeff Baxter there just shaking hands with the jockey that finished second. That was John Matthias on Glint of Gold. Well, John, that race was won with authority and command. John, your opinions?
It's been the most marvellously predictable derby that I've ever seen, because from the moment Walter took his position third at the top of the hill, you could always easily imagine what was going to happen, because it's exactly what's happened in his other two races this season.
What was it like
He
out there?
sat just
Well, I was just a passenger on a very good horse.
You were always cantering.
Yes.
Was it easier than you thought it would be? Well, as you can see, we're now trotting. He's saying he's just a passenger. Here's Michael Stout in front. Michael, many, many congratulations.
Thank you very
well
much.
done.
Thank you very
What
much.
was it like from the stand?
Well, a great thrill. Great thrill.
You were very, very cool, but were you upset before the race, butterflies, things like that?
No, we kept nice and cool, and he was always in a lovely position and one didn't have too many worries.
How good is he, Michael?
Very good.
Very good. Longest distance winner for a very long time.
Yeah.
Yes. He said he was going so easy all the way. Hey? And here we're passing Shotgun, the second favourite, the Yorkshire horse. There's a great crowd of people, as you can see. Number 18, the winner. And we're waiting for His Highness, the Aga Khan, to come out. 19 years of age. And there's a great big smile on his face. Not very easy to get to him. Let's just have a quick word, if we can, with the stable lad. Well done, stable lad.
Thank you very much.
What's your name?
Dickie McCabe.
Well done, Dickie.
Just put the lead, Ray. I'm sure that somebody will like to lead him.
Yes, Michael's just saying that His Highness the Aga Khan will be coming out to lead the horse in. Where does he go to the Arc de Triomphe tour, Michael?
Oh, we don't know yet. I would think the Irish Derby, you know.
Yeah.
And then we'll play it from there.
Well trained. Well done.
Thank you very much.
So we leave the winner as now he walks to the coveted spot, the winner's enclosure of the Epsom Derby.
Well, they're both still remarkably cool. But how wonderful Walter must be feeling, because however cool he is by nature, the butterflies must have been fluttering there on the way down to the start. And he couldn't know that the race was going to go so exactly according to plan, except, of course, that he's said before that riding Shergar feels like riding Pegasus. Well, this afternoon he didn't need wings. All he needed was his own four legs, and how brilliantly they served him. Those who worried about his ability to come down the hill, he came down the hill and round the corner as if Sterling Moss was driving. And there's Wally coming into the hallowed position which every flat race jockey yearns for, and getting the ovation he richly deserves. 19 years old, and I wonder how many times he'll be back in the Derby winners' enclosure. There it. 10 lengths we hear. 10 lengths, so he's beaten Troy in that respect at least, further than Troy, and he's kept up his own record of never winning as a 3-year-old by less than double figures. There's the Aga Khan and his wife in the smart blue hat and a sort of jabot, I think they call it, in front of her neck. How delighted the Aga must feel. And if I don't know where his grandfather is, what particular part of Valhalla he's inhabiting, but he who had 5 Derby winners and for whom the Honourable George Lambton bought Mumtaz Mahal, who is the 5th grandmother, or the grandmother in 5 generations removed of Shergar, how delighted and how proud they must be feeling. The Aga, of course, took some time after his father, the Ali Khan's tragic death. For some time, this Aga Khan didn't attempt to follow in his grandfather's footsteps, or only on a very small scale. But now he's one of the world's biggest owners, and with Shergar, maybe one of the most successful. There he is. Truly happy man, and I'm now told by historians who know a great deal more than me, no less a historian than Graham Good, that no horse has won by 10 lengths, as much as 10 lengths, in this century. No horse. Well, they used to say Eclipse first and the rest nowhere, and I wouldn't really have been all that surprised if the judge had lost his head and called it a distance today, because it was truthfully Shergar first and the rest nowhere. And look at him, he still hasn't turned a hair. Really wonderfully calm, and to what may he go on? Let's hope and pray that he will be kept in training next season as a 4-year-old, and if he is, and if things go for the rest of this season as they've gone so far, well, I can't see why he shouldn't break every conceivable prize money winning record, certainly in European history, and he might give the Americans a run for their dollars too. Talking of dollars, I hope to heaven he never gets sold across the Atlantic, because what a priceless property he will be at the stud.
The winning jockey, Mrs. Whitman, how in fact do you feel today now?
Absolutely thrilled, over the moon.
What was the race like to you?
Terrifying. But he had a very nice position, and you know, when he was 3rd on his own, I knew then he couldn't get into any trouble, and I was very happy.
How was he before the race, and how were you before the race?
I was dreadful, terrible butterflies, but he was very calm. I only saw him for a few minutes, but she was very calm, as usual.
What is the build-up like to an occasion like this?
Well, as you know, it's the most coveted race in the world. I think there isn't a jockey or a trainer or owner, you know, that wouldn't want to win this race. That would be the ARC, the Washington International. So the build-up was, you know, gosh, I can't tell you, people ringing up. And of course, you know, Walt being 19, but he had a lot of confidence in himself. And I think he and Shergar were the calmest of us all.
Did you have a bet on Shergar?
We don't gamble. I don't gamble. And, no, I was just very happy to be here, see them.
And what about the future now? Where are you off to?
Back to Ireland tonight.
Tonight?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you take our congratulations and good wishes unto Walter too. And thank you very much for talking to us. Thank you.
Walter Swinburne and his father, Wally. Well, father and son. First of all, Walter, how do you feel with all the pressure that's been on you?
Relieved now. I mean, there never was much pressure on me. You know, I had my parents, Mr. and Mrs. Stout, and good owner, good lads in the yard, and that's what counts.
What is the father's instant reaction?
Elated. Elated. I don't know about him being relieved. I'm relieved.
And it looked an absolutely devastating performance to watch, Walter, because you were always in such total command of everybody.
Yes, I mean, the horse did what I thought he would do. No problem, early speed, quickened up, and I mean, he was idling with me about a furlong and a half down, so
well, we can look at those extraordinary closing stages, really, because for a derby that was won so... This is before Tatnam Corner, isn't it? You're just straightening up, I think, here,
yeah.
And you're actually taking a pull. Did you... I mean, everyone beside you was rowing away. Did you think there could possibly be any danger?
Well, I was always wary for something coming, you know. That's why I gave him a crack, I mean.
And now it's a long, long way home there. You're fully 2 furlongs out in the Epsom Derby. What was your attitude? Go all the way to the line?
Yes, just here he was idling, so I gave him a backhander. You know, I was waiting for something to come. I could hear the crowd shouting Leicester. I thought, oh my God, no.
Because, I mean, you give him a crack here.
Yeah.
And, I mean, how far did it seem? You were sort of furlong out here.
Yeah, I mean, I had a look there and I couldn't believe it, you know.
There's the look.
Yeah.
And I think you have a look the other side too, don't you? And that's when you know you've won.
Yeah.
And you give him a great pat down the neck as you go past the line, don't you?
Yes.
Well, Walter, I have to say congratulations on behalf of everyone, but quite apart from yourself, he must be the most extraordinary little horse.
He is. I mean, I'm a passenger on a very good horse, and I mean,
no one can ever take that away from you.
Thank you very much, Prof. It's a great feeling, and you know, at a time like this, you have to think of it as being teamwork, as you mentioned, for the whole stable, and that's exactly what it is. We've got a great team around us, and it's well done, all of us, really.
Well, they'll be happy back in Beechhurst, but what a performance they set up. I mean, any standards.
Yes, it was so impressive. He did it so efficiently that that was particularly pleasing. He's a very, very good horse.
Well, I'd like you to show you just how good a horse he's show the world this afternoon, because it's an astonishing way. We're actually refixing it now so the eye can't see it as well. But it was an astonishing performance because some people thought that maybe with Derby pressure and everything else he wouldn't be quite as good as before, but I mean, he was better than ever today by any standards.
It was very impressive. Lovely thing about the race is that he always had him in a wonderful position, and one never had many worries, you know.
Well, here it is. It's coming up. It's coming up now. Here you are, 3 furlongs out. He's gone to the front a long, long way out, but in a way he was towed there.
Well, that's his style, you know.
And here he is, coming up to the 2 furlong marker. He's picked it up and given him a crack. He said to us he was idling, Walter, but you can't have had many worries then.
No, he'd got it sewn up then. But, you know, the crowd is there cheering over the rail, and it's a little bit distracting for him with nothing up there racing with him.
But, goodness, he's absolutely... I mean, they're so far behind. We almost need another camera to do it, and there's a lovely moment as he goes past the line, and there he goes. He gives him a pat down the neck, which I'm
gave
sure
him a bollocking for that.
Sure that goes from all of you. But Michael...
No, but I think, you know, full credit to that boy. He's only 19, and, you know, the pressure of riding a hot Derby favourite, he's come out of the gate, he's gone and taken up a beautiful position and ridden a peach of a race.
Walter loved to ride, loved racing. He was a kind rider. But Walter was like that with horses. Horses liked him. Animals liked him. Good horse hands. And everybody said that. Some had better hands than others, and Walter had the most amazing hands. But Shergar was a special horse. Special. And he was a very quiet horse, and I mean, for a stallion, he was out in a paddock with some bullocks. I mean, you wouldn't turn a stallion out. But he was so quiet, and he was very happy with these cattle, and that was Shergar.
1981, Irish Sweeps Derby, that's it. They're all in, under starters' orders, and they're away. And away to a good even break with cut above on the inside. The first to show, Shergar, right up with him too in the early stages. Wolver Heights is the back marker, and it's cut above from Baz Bombatti and Shergar. Then comes Jolier and Kirtling behind them. Gap of Dunlow. Behind Gap of Dunlow is Crowned Hare, and then comes Orr. Then Dance Bid, Bastinetto and Wolver Heights. and cut above. Willie Carson making it from Shergar on the inside of Baz Bombatti with Jolier up there, and then comes Kirtling and Crowned Hair. Behind Crowned Hair is Gap of Dunlow, then Dance Bid and Orr, and then Young Kildare, and the back markers of the stable companions Bustinetto and Wolver Heights. And still Willie Carson making it on cut above from Jolier. Leicester on the inside, close on Shergar. Towards Shergar's outside is Kirtling. Just on the outside of them come Crowned Hair, and then Baz Bombatti, Wolver Heights and Bustinetto are still the back markers. They've passed the 7 furlong pole, still cut above in the lead from Jolier. Then on the inside, Shergar. On Shergar's outside is Kirtling, making a forward move there. Just in behind them, Crowned Hair. Behind Crowned Hair is Gap of Dunlow. Orr is dropping back. Wolver Heights is the back marker. They're racing towards the 6 furlong pole, and as they do so, it's still cut above in the lead for England. From Kirtling also for England in second. Shergar for England is third. Then comes Crowned Hair on the outside. Young Kildare's not far behind the leaders. Then Jolier, then Dance Bid. Baz Bombatti has dropped back to last. Racing towards the half-mile pole now, and as they do so, it's still on the inside. Willie Carson on cut above from Pat Edery on Kirtling. Just in behind them comes Shergar, then Orr making good progress. Just in behind them, they're rounding the home turn now into the straight, 3 furlongs to run, and Shergar has come there to take it up. Shergar and Lester Biggott towards the right of the picture now has taken up running from Kirtling, cut above, then comes Orr. Behind Orr and making good ground is Gap of Dunlow. They're inside the final 2 furlongs, and Shergar has streaked into the lead from Kirtling in second. Then comes Gap of Dunlow producing a good run, cut above, hanging on over on the far side, but racing down to the furlong pole and lengthening his stride. Lester Biggott looking over his left shoulder, sees no possible danger whatsoever, striding up to win this. Ears pricked, he's only in an exercise canter. He's won the Irish Sweeps Derby in a canter. Second cut above and third Gap of Dunlow. 4 is Kirtling and then Orr. Behind them, third rather was Dance Bid. 4 then comes Gap of Dunlow. The 1, 2, 3, Shergar, cut above and Dance Bid. They're the 1, 2, 3 in the Irish Sweeps Derby, and what an amazingly comfortable triumph for Shergar. Mark, and as they do so, Master Willie goes up on the outside of Light Cavalry. Shergar on the inside. Then Madam Gay. Behind Madam Gay is Fingal's Cave. Pellerin is losing ground. Then comes Crackerbell. They're racing towards the home turn, and it's Master Willie and Light Cavalry. Master Willie going on now from Light Cavalry. Madam Gay's moved round on the outside of Shergar. Shergar in 4th place now as they race towards the home turn. Crackerbell's improved into 5th, and Master Willie going for home now. It's Master Willie with the advantage over Light Cavalry. Walter Swinburne slipped through on the rails on Shergar, but it's Master Willie with the advantage. Madam Gay coming there strongly on the stand side. Shergar making ground over on the far side now, racing down towards the furlong pole, and Shergar, the 3-year-old, burst through to take it up on the far side. It's Shergar now from Madam Gay. Master Willie, Fingal's Cave putting in a good run, but as they race into the closing stages, Shergar lengthening his stride is going to win it in tremendous style. Shergar striding up to the line from Madam Gay and Fingal's Cave, and at the line Shergar wins it. Madam Gay and Fingal's Cave in a photo for second.
Shergar, Walter Swinburne asking that one to Bickett, who's not finding an awful lot as Glint of Gold takes it up. 2 furlongs to go. Glint of Gold, Bustomi, cut above, and Shergar. Shergar under pressure now with 2 furlongs left to go, and he's losing touch. 1.5 furlongs to go. Glint of Gold, Bustomi, cut above. Shergar is beaten in the St Ledger. Over 1 furlong to go. Glint of Gold in the lead from cut above, who's finishing strongly, and cut above comes through to take it up. Cut above from Glint of Gold, Bustomi and Shergar coming well inside the final 1/2 furlong. Cut above coming up toward the line, drawing away, coming up toward the line. Cut above is going to win it at the line. Cut above the winner, Glint of Gold second. Bustomi is third. Shergar only 4.
One's got to think about the future. You know, I have a lot of mares, and I breed my own horses, so this horse is important to me as a breeder.
A new career beckoned back in Ireland as part of the lucrative horse breeding industry. Shergar was about to become a stud.
He's a very easy horse to do anything with. He's got a very good temperament, and he's got the necessary engine.
Shergar's in retirement, having won nearly £400,000. He has the pleasant if arduous duties of the most expensive stallion in the land at the Aga Khan stud in County Kildare, the place where he was born.
I was here at that time, and when the mare was mated to great nephew, and then when she foaled here, and when she was weaned here, and the foal was bred in Cheshire, and then he was sent to Michael Stout in England.
We always expect some horses have peculiarities. Did he have any as a foal or a yearling?
His main particularity was the fact that he had none. He was exactly a nice, quiet fellow, nothing wrong, good eater, good sleeper, and never sick.
How many mares has he covered, in fact, now?
He has eight more mares to cover, and so far he has about 20 mares over 21 days, so his fertility is very, very good. He had a slow start at the beginning because the weather was bad, but he did catch up very quickly.
Gillian, can I go back to last year's Epsom Derby now? Can you recall some of the excitement of that day? Did you back him? Did you think he'd win?
No, I didn't back because I am not a great gambler, but we were always very confident in the horse at the end of his racing 2-year-old career.
Shergar, the name of a racehorse that transcended his sport like no other. 30 years ago, he won the Derby with the most stunning Epsom display ever seen. But Shergar's fame also endures because of his shocking kidnapping, a crime that may never be resolved. Shergar's is a truly incredible story. Ridden by 19-year-old Walter Swinburne, a series of scintillating trial performances made him favourite for the 1981 Derby.
He's in great shape. I'm delighted with him. And obviously, we're extremely hopeful. We've got to be.
You know, there was never another one like him. He had a very, very high cruising speed, and he got up that hill at Epsom as if it wasn't there.
To see the horse come round Tatton Corner the way he did and really go away from the field to win by, I think, what is still the biggest margin in the Derby, is an unforgettable souvenir. Unforgettable.
There's only one horse in it. You need a telescope to see the rest. They have a furlong to go, and Shergar is galloping them into the ground. 15 lengths at least. Wally Swinburne looks round. He's on his own. Shergar, clear of his field. He's climbed this mountain. He has eased up. Shergar wins the Derby.
Easy wins in the Irish Derby and the King George followed before Shergar was retired to stud. Then, on the evening of February the 8th, 1983, Shergar was in his stable when tragedy struck.
Stolen, Europe's most valuable racehorse, and still no ransom demand. Good evening. There's still no sign of Shergar tonight.
There's never been a crime such as this before in the British Isles. Police here freely admit that they haven't the slightest idea who's behind the theft. Did they have weapons at all?
Yes, they had.
They did? They had guns?
The disappearance sparked a massive police hunt throughout Ireland and was headline news around the world.
First, Shergar, the racehorse held to ransom.
It's the sheer audacity of what's happened. It has never happened before.
Well, so much for Shergar, wherever he is. And be good, fella, and come back to us. We need you.
Despite offers totalling £300,000 for information leading to his release, it looks as though Shergar will never be seen again.
But soon there was a prime suspect for Shergar's kidnap.
Oh, I think it's a fairly well-established fact that he was taken by a branch of the IRA for monetary reasons.
In the immediate aftermath of Shergar's theft, attention centred on Northern Ireland when 3 British journalists were summoned to Belfast to negotiate for the stallion's rescue.
Well, we don't really know exactly what's happening. All we do know is that the phone call said that they wanted to meet us 3 in the hotel tonight.
When I picked the hotel phone and the voice said, "I'm watching you from across the street."
To go to Mrs. Jeremy Maxwell's house. That's Jeremy the trainer.
At the time, people say, oh, we weren't talking to the real kidnappers. We were talking to somebody who was trying to get money out of us, etc., etc. But at the same time, every time we used a different code word. But there was one I kept to myself, King Neptune. I kept that to myself. And that was the code word that the IRA man used in his book. And I realized then that we were talking to the same guys.
The book Thompson refers to was written by a former IRA member who claims he knows who stole the horse.
The sort of plan was drawn up in Portlaoise prison, but the mistake they made was that Shergar was a very volatile stallion, and it injured itself in a horse box after they kidnapped it. And my belief from people who were involved in it is they shot Shergar very, very quickly after that. Would they have returned Shergar? Yes, they would. I think that was the plan. It went horribly wrong because they simply weren't able to manage. They weren't able to manage the horse.
One journalist who investigated the case says the kidnappers panicked after realizing they would not get a ransom.
I was told through what I consider to be an impeccable IRA source that Shergar's end was bloody and horrible. I think the people who were responsible for gunning down the horse in cold blood will never want to be the people who were known for that terrible act. So I think we probably got as far as we can with the Shergar story.
But Shergar will never be forgotten and should be remembered as a magnificent animal who gave pleasure to all who witnessed him.
I suppose Shergar's victory in the Derby is one of the great moments that I will always remember.
There's only one horse in it. You need a telescope to see the rest. Shergar wins the Derby.
Most valuable racehorse was stolen from a stud farm in the Irish Republic late last night.
Gunmen entered the stud around 9 o'clock last night. They held Mr. John Fitzgerald and his family in a back room at gunpoint.
No one has ever thought that a horse could be stolen for any reason. There is, of course, the possibility that this might be a vendetta, someone holding a grudge against the Aga Khan.
So we went over then to Ballymoney and identified the fact the stable was empty, the horse was gone. It's a terrible shock. It is a shock. See an empty stable. Nobody ever thought in Ireland that somebody would steal a horse. Last thing we thought, you could steal a motor car or something else, but not the horse.
Every hour counted in the search for Shergar. Chief Superintendent James Murphy was put on the kidnapper's trail. The local policeman knew that this was the biggest case of his career.
Well, I'm slightly concerned about it. For the simple reason that a stallion cannot be kept by people who are not well up in the horsey field and who do not know how to keep the animal.
Do you have any leads at the moment?
I have no leads.
Journalists from around the world descended on Newbridge in County Kildare to cover what was becoming a nationwide horse hunt.
Every stud, every stable throughout the Republic is being combed for Shergar. It's probably the biggest hunt the country has ever known.
The search for Shergar is nationwide. Every stables all over Ireland will be searched,
right,
and we'll concentrate on our own area here.
I see.
And we'll have to clear our area, and every other Garda division will have to clear their area.
Kidnapped Derby winner Shergar has moved across the Irish border to Northern Ireland. A ransom of £40,000 has been asked for, not the £2 million first reported. 3 racing journalists, Lord Oaksey, Derek Thompson and Peter Campling, flew from London to Belfast today and then went, at the kidnapper's request, to a farm in County Down. A telephone caller said Shergar was well rugged up and in good hands. The Sporting Life, the main racing paper, is offering in tomorrow's edition a reward of £10,000 for the safe return of the horse. From Northern Ireland, Jeremy Thompson now reports.
None of the 3 journalists knew why they'd been chosen, or even if their summons to act as go-betweens was genuine. They'd had no official backing from Shergar's syndicate. But within hours, Oaksey, Campling and Thompson were heading for Belfast, believing that their mysterious mission offered the best hope so far of retrieving the missing racehorse.
Derek, do you really know what you're going into in Belfast today?
No, and I don't think any of us do, actually, but I think our conscience has told us to get on this plane and come over, because I think we all agree that if something did happen to the horse and we weren't there, then we'd live with that conscience for the rest of our life, and that would be very, very unfortunate. So that's the reason we're here.
All they had to go on was the anonymous caller's promise that he would contact them in a Belfast hotel. But within minutes of checking in, the drama took on a new turn. Thompson received a phone call in the hotel lobby.
How far is that from Dublin? Yeah, from Belfast. 30 miles. Right. And who am I talking to, by the way?
A man using the fitting code name of Arkle instructed the journalist to drive to an address in County Down 30 miles outside the city.
Bye-bye. Well, that's interesting.
As night fell, the action moved swiftly to a lonely farmhouse at Ardglass, the home of one of Ulster's leading racehorse trainers, Jeremy Maxwell. The 3 would-be negotiators arrived to find the same anonymous Irishman who claims to have Shergar had already called Mrs. Judy Maxwell 3 times, saying the demand was now £40,000.
He seems to be a very rational, well-spoken man.
there really doesn't seem to be a lot more to gather about it. We feel he should be negotiating a bit more. We'd like to go on a bit further with negotiations.
Do you feel from talking to the man that he is genuine, he is the likely holder of Shergar at the moment?
I think he is the likely holder of Shergar because he's been back to us so often today.
Does it make you optimistic, your talks to him so far?
Yes, I think I will be optimistic. He seems quite rational and perfectly pleasant about the whole thing. He doesn't sound as though he's going to be unkind to the horse.
But all they could do was wait anxiously for further instructions, still not knowing if the whole thing was a hoax. Then in mid-evening came phone call number 4 and a fresh demand.
He's asked Peter Campling, John Oaksey and myself, the 3 journalists that he asked to come over from London, to ring round the 34 members of the syndicate now to find out if they're prepared to pay this £40,000. Now obviously it's difficult, we don't exactly know which one is of these 34, but the man obviously in charge is His Highness the Aga Khan, just outside Paris. So our job now is to try and get in touch with His Highness, and hopefully he will come up with a yes or no whether he's prepared to pay this 40,000. If he is, apparently, according to the caller, he has said once it is made public that we are going to give the 40,000, he will then ring back with further news about the horse.
But even if the caller does hold the answer to the Shergar mystery, tonight there's still no sign that the shareholders are willing to pay up. Jeremy Thompson, News at 10, County Down, Northern Ireland.
But coming up to the line, Shergar is going to win it at the line. Shergar is the winner, very easy winner. But Shergar is the lead and clear. Next to cruising home on the Irish Big Derby. Coming up to the line, Shergar's going to win it. Coming up to the line, Shergar is the winner.
Up the line, Shergar wins it.